The following is a presentation of the Mat Talk Podcast Network. It's time for the Guillotine Grapevine, a podcast for the land of 10,000 wrestlers. 10,000 wrestlers. Now, here's your host, award-winning wrestling broadcast journalist, Jason Bryant.
Episode 19 of the Guillotine Grapevine. We're starting season 2 as Jeff Bishi and crew have renewed the show. And our first guest, we're going to kick off this season right. We're going to head right down to Apple Valley, meet with Gable Steveson, a two-time state champion, but not just a two-time state champion. Gable, you can like the way this sounds. Two-time world champion. I mean, that's got to make you feel good, man.
Yeah, sounds pretty good to me. I put a lot of hard work into it, so I'm really proud of it.
Well, you came here from Indiana. You and your family moved when you were just, before you got into high school. And, I had first seen you wrestle at the, Folk Style Nationals in 2012, where some guy comes up to us and goes, "Hey, my son," and it was your dad telling us not just about both you and your brother, but also the uniqueness of your name. What's it like growing up wrestling with a name like Gable Dan Stevenson?
I really have no idea, actually. It's just I wrestle, and I guess Dan Gable was like a legend in the sport, so my name was kind of flip-flop like his Dan Gable, mine's Gable Dan, so to be a legend like him and have my name well-known around like he does, that would be pretty nice to me.
As you got older and understood the relevance, like, wait a minute, that's who I'm named after? I mean, it's kind of be cool to be named after such an iconic sports hero in a sport you love, though, right?
Yes, it's actually pretty crazy.
There was a story once that came out that said was Minnesota wrestler has an Iowa name. You may not necessarily consider it an Iowa name. That's a Minnesota name to you, right?
Oh, well, no comment. I don't really know.
Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about your world championships and such going in, but you're heading into your junior year. As an eighth grader, you were second in the state, and you've won 89 matches in a row. And I remember one of the big matches that I saw at the X one year. It was your freshman year state duels. So first time I'd had a chance to watch a state duels, and it's coming down to heavyweight. And how many teams are like, all right, state duels are on the line. We're going to heavyweight. Let's just point to our freshman 220. Let's bump him up and let's get the fall to win the duel. I mean, that's got to be a pressure filled situation. I mean, how do you handle things like that just being a freshman?
Well, it was pretty cool to me. I've had a lot of matches like that year that came down to the last match and depended on me. So it was just another match for me to see and just another match for me to get the win and get the team state title for the team.
What's it been like wrestling for Apple Valley, a national powerhouse with a lot of eyes on you, and some people like to see, Apple Valley wrestlers falter, and you've got that added pressure. But what's it been like wrestling there?
It's actually been real nice. I've gained a lot of like unique moves and stuff, and just getting real good at everything I've been doing. And I was really like being here.
You told the Pioneer Press after you won your first world championship that you want to be the best ever. And there's a lot of wrestlers that come out saying that, including one of your teammates who just left to go to Penn State. His name is Mark Hall. He won 6 state titles individually and 6 team state titles. To be the best ever just in your high school, it's going to be very tough. But what does it mean to you to say that you want to be the best ever?
Just keep on winning, keep improving, and just sooner or later try to grab a couple, 1 or 2 Olympic titles, see how I can do on the senior level, and just keep jumping my game up to get better.
You mentioned the Olympic titles. Kyle Snyder coming off the mats, winning at 20 years old. And what you probably are eyeing your weight class, depending on how much more you grow, because there's not much more to go up after 97. You've got heavyweight, and that's about it. But when you look at his progression going from, monster high school season to his senior year, he says, you know what, I'm going to go to the Olympic Training Center and train full-time in freestyle. Then he wins a junior world title. Have you given that much that route any thought, or are you going to stick around with the Apple Valley team through your graduation?
I haven't really thought about it. It never really came across me and my family's mind. We're just doing the basic high school thing right now and just seeing how everything goes.
Is there any added pressure being a multi-time state champion in a powerhouse program like Apple Valley? It's a beautiful school. It's a big school. It's a great sports town. And just walking through the hallways every day, what's it like for you?
Just basic old school, just you don't want to say like you're like the best athlete, just you always got to stay humble and stay always open to everybody you see and just be kind to everyone.
Is there pressure on you and your teammates to kind of live up to some of the legacy that the Apple Valley wrestlers that have come before you? I mean, you've got All-Americans and NCAA champions that have come from that school.
Nah, we're just doing our own thing right now. We're just going to keep the legacy going and just keep wrestling hard like we always been doing.
When you're so good at the high school level, how hard is it to stay focused, to know, everybody's going to try to give you their best shot, but, one slip and it's going to be headlines anywhere. So, I mean, how do you maintain your focus going through tournaments where, you might be wrestling a first-year kid that probably has no business being on the mat with you, and then there's a kid who's been training specifically for you. I mean, just there's that balance in high school. How do you keep that?
Well, I just wrestle everybody the same and treat everybody the same. So if I got to do what I got to do on the mat, I'm going to do what I need to do and just treat everybody the way I would treat anybody else on the mat, just the same way, and just go out there and wrestle hard and do what I need to do.
When you guys came to Minnesota, what were your initial reactions? It was like, all right, we're coming. It's cold up here, and two, they take wrestling pretty seriously up here.
It was actually, I knew they really took wrestling pretty serious because when we moved up here, Apple Valley was top 3 in the nation at the time, and I didn't really think I was going to come up here. I came up 7th grade year, and I didn't really think – they told me 8th grade year I have a good chance of starting. I didn't really think so. Like, what 8th grader starts at 195 and comes in and makes an impact for the lineup, and I really did that and, made my team proud and just kept this excelling from there.
Yeah, as an 8th grader, not a whole lot of states have that opportunity where 7th and 8th graders can compete in a starting lineup. It's a unique situation for you to get, in that case, 42 matches in. And what were your expectations going into your 8th grade year and, like you said, making that impact? I mean, were you expecting to win a state championship? Were you just hopeful to place?
Well, I wasn't even thinking I kind of, everyone thinks I'm going to cut the lineup, but you really don't know what happens until you get that wrestle off. Then I got the wrestle off and I won it. Then I just had my sights on keep winning. My coaches, I always told my coach that I was going to keep winning, and I did that. But I fell short that year. Lost to Justin Cumberbatch in the state finals, and I just bounced back from there and kept getting better.
We talk about jumping levels in wrestling so much about, getting to that next level. Like you've hit a stride, and then now all of a sudden you are much better than you were at a certain point. Was there any points in your high school career that you felt like had been corners that you've turned to be like, wow, this was the moment that I felt like I jumped a level, that I became a much better wrestler?
Yeah, it was probably freshman year getting ready for Fever Cadet. Me and Bobby my brother Bobby used to train. We were training a lot, getting me ready, and just getting focused on making the world team. And then we made it. Then I kind of figured out I can jump, get my levels just keep going up, and that was really nice.
You and Bobby basically similar build, similar style wrestlers, and you come into that weight class. He's expected to maybe go 184 this year for the Gophers. You're still sitting at 220. I mean, it's your body styles are kind of, are they limiting, or do you find that I don't care that I'm not the tallest guy, I'm still going to be able to get to your legs and power through you?
Yeah, practically what you said.
I mean, how have you had to learn different things? I mean, sometimes you've got a 220 pounder who's or a heavyweight, looks like a guy like Tommy Rollins who's all arms and legs, learning those different styles and moves. And what styles of wrestling have you felt that works best and makes you successful? I like wrestling from all type of styles, but when it comes down to it, if I need to beat you up, I will beat you up, and just a brawl on the mat. And I just whatever I can do to win, I'm going to do. As we look at the dominance of the Apple Valley program and guys like Mark Hall and your brother coming through, and there's a lot of eyes on the program, and there's also a lot of medals being won by, you three have done very well. When you look at it from a high school sense and you try to, okay, I've been to Tbilisi, Georgia to win a world medal. Now I've got to come back to wrestle in Rochester for a tournament or go to a dual meet in Owatonna or somewhere like that. How does Coach Dalen Wasman keep you guys focused and keep you focused specifically?
Dalen, first of all, Dalen's like a real good coach, and he always keeps us focused. Just like I said earlier, kid takes it one match at a time and just do what you need to do.
All right, let's talk about your World Championships a little bit. I know Richard Immel at Bonus Points is going to really go in depth with you on this, so I'll kind of let him do that. You can listen to that on the Matt Talk Podcast Network later this week at matttalkonline.com. But Tbilisi, Georgia, I mean, that's not a place that's really a destination vacation spot for people. What was the trip like for you? I mean, a long way. It's a former Soviet republic. I understand not a lot of English is spoken over there. I mean, you've done some international travel, but what was it like in Tbilisi?
Well, Tbilisi was actually a lot better upgrade than Bosnia, and we actually got into a 5-star hotel, so it was actually real nice. And like just the area around us was way pretty. It was like crazy beautiful.
What about the respect that the Georgians have in Tbilisi? You know, there's a monster tournament that's held in Tbilisi that's legendary. It's known as one of the toughest in the world. You know, to wrestle in a city that's got such reverence for wrestling. I mean, did you give that much thought at all?
Well, when we got to the little area where we wrestle, there was a lot of fans there, and they told us like, yeah, this place is gonna be crazy, and it turned out to be like real crazy. The fans were screaming every match. The fans were on their feet, so it was just the best out of country road experience I've had so far right now.
When you look at your international career and where you hope it to go, do you think you're going too fast? Do you think you're going too slow? I mean, how quickly do you want to jump in that senior level? I mean, you're going in your junior year in high school. You're moving in your first year as a UWW junior. So you've still got years of junior competition ahead of you. But how ready are you to get to that senior level?
I'm ready. I'm ready to battle. Ready to make that senior team.
Going into that and keeping things balanced, you're still a high school kid. And so I want to know a little bit about beyond wrestling. I'm out of touch, man. I'm 37 years old. I don't know what the kids are listening to these days. I suck at the Snapchat. I got Twitter figured out, but what's a typical day for Gable Steveson like? I mean, which style of music, what movies, that type of stuff? I mean, what makes you tick?
Well, like I'll listen to any type of music, any style of music, but my rapper right now has got to be Drake, Future, Lil Uzi. Them are the rappers that are popping right now, and I really like listening to them. But an average day for Gable is like probably like an average day for anybody else. I wake up, shower, get dressed, go to school, come home, probably kick it with my friends, go lift or something, then just repeat it.
All right, and you mentioned all the rappers, dude. My hip hop influences kind of end in like 1993. I pretty much was reared on Public Enemy, so I whatever you just said, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to ask my wife what the heck's going on here. But when we talk about getting pumped for things, I mean, like if you've got a walkout song, like if there's like one all-time walkout song, what would it be for you?
Oh, it's kind of hard to answer. I don't really know. That's a tough one.
All right, so okay, let's put yourself NCAA finals in a couple years. You're whoever, where we're at Scott Trade, wherever the event is. Like, all right, what do I want to hear coming out? I mean, that's an important thing to have ready. As a PA announcer to guys who plays the music, I kind of wonder this myself.
It's kind of like it's like you're listening to music during the day. Then if you make it to the finals, like before, like it's hard. It's hard to pick a song because it's just like it can't just really pop up. You got to be listening to songs and be like, oh, this one's super nice. Like, I'm picking this one.
What's the most overplayed song you've ever heard at wrestling tournaments?
At wrestling tournaments, I the Tiger. That one's getting annoying.
Some of the older heads aren't going to like that because that's like a staple. I mean, you only have to hear it once. It's like, all right, okay, yep, I the Tiger. But yeah, I mean, you're on point with that one. Now, as we go through the typical day, I mean, when you're looking at colleges, where are you looking? How soon are you think you're going to commit? You're going during your junior year, after your junior year? When are you looking to make that decision for the next level?
I haven't really put that much time to when I'm making a decision, but like I've been looking around, seeing who I like, and just taking peeks at everyone. But I would like to take my visits and see how they go. Then we'll see if we can make a decision then.
And of course, the big part of college is that student part of being a student athlete. After wrestling, there's a lot of high level wrestlers want to go into coaching. But say you don't pursue a career after your wrestling career is done in coaching or in the sport of wrestling. What is something you'd like to focus on in college and focus on your major with?
My mom's always told me that she would like me to be a doctor, so I like that. I like medical type of stuff, and with this, I haven't really put a lot of thought into any other stuff, but I'll just keep looking around and see what I like other than that.
That's, have you told her, say, Mom, that's a lot of extra school. That's a lot of extra school.
Yeah, I told her. She knows.
Now, as we talk about the world of social media, I alluded to it that I sucked at Snapchat, and there's the Twitter game that goes on, and you guys are all over it. And you seem to be a magnet for some of these guys that want to challenge you on Twitter to matches and stuff. I mean, how do you deal with the smack talk?
I just ignore it. It's kind of hard to wake up and see someone tweeted at me talking they want to see me on the mat, or they want to do this and that, trying to wrestle me and thirsty for a match. I'm just trying to kind of ignore it now, just blow it off. It's no big deal to me. I'm just going to keep doing what I got to do.
But you can tend to get emotional on the mat. When you beat Colton Schultz in Fargo, you kind of gave him a little ha, and then a little finger wag at the World Championships. I mean, it's not like you're going to be quiet the whole time. How do you balance that? All right, I'm going to have to show a little personality, a little attitude here, and then I'm going to have to just reel it back and stay humble. I mean, there's a balance. You can't be too much of one or the other.
I ignore him on the social media part, but when I see him on the mat, it's a different game. It's a different story. I'm going to give him my all.
Being so good at wrestling, obviously, it's fun when you go out there. But what was some of the first things that drew you to wrestling? Be like, yeah, you know what? This is fun. I like doing this.
Well, my older brother wrestled, so we kind of was born into it and just loved it ever since. Haven't lost anything for it yet.
What do you remember about your first day of wrestling practice? Ever?
I don't even remember. My mom said I was born on the mat.
I mean, your dad named you Gable Dan. I don't think that's really that far from the truth, to be honest with you. But
nah.
Now, moving through your junior year, 89 matches in a row, and they really haven't been close. What do you do to stay up? You said you treat every match like it's the same, or everybody the same, but there's got to be times where you might go through a stretch of all right, okay, pin this kid 15 seconds, pin this kid a minute, pin this kid. I mean, does sometimes you go out there and you're like, this can't be this boring. I mean, is it fun to pin somebody in 15 seconds that many times?
No, it's not fun, but I'm gonna still keep doing it.
All right, now you mentioned your brother quite a bit, and he's up at the University of Minnesota. And while that situation's been pretty dicey from a coaching staff situation, looking at it from a younger brother situation, knowing that you've got a brother on the team, how much has that whole controversy really kind of affected you? And how do you basically try to be like, all right, whatever's going on up there, that's cool. I mean, you've obviously probably got more knowledge than most people do about it, but how do you just kind of, keep that chatter away and just kind of move on with your own life?
Well, I just kind of ignore it. If anybody, I really haven't heard nothing from the situation. I don't really pay attention, but I know my brother's on the right track. He's doing good things. I hope he keeps doing what he's doing. I don't even know how to explain it. It's just hard.
Now, how does this impact your teammates in terms of, because people wrestle in Minnesota, they, a lot of them want to be Gophers, and whether you do or don't want to be a Gopher, that's irrelevant. But, some of your teammates likely do. And, this type of controversy for high school kids, it affects decisions. I mean, what's the general chatter on the team been about, well, what's going to happen? I mean, are this affecting some of these people's decisions in your mind, or you think they're just going to all right, let's see where it happens, and we'll pick from there?
It might be affecting some people's decisions because not a lot of people would want to be around bad things like what just previously happened there. And it's just hard for them to pick the right school for them.
We go on to your goals on being a multiple-time Olympic champion. It's a pretty lofty goal, and it's a very your track and attainable goal. But there's that guy, Kyle Snyder's not that much older than you, man. I mean, you're going to run into him eventually on the senior level. And what do you think about having guys like that are so young, so good, that you actually, potentially would have an opportunity to get your hands on him before he's even out of his prime, and you're just coming into yours?
It would be. I would love to wrestle Kyle Snyder. That's a person every big guy wants to wrestle right now because he's the main guy. But I like Kyle Snyder as a friend. He's a real nice person, but I would just like to wrestle him, see how I do on the mat with him, and get to training with him sometime.
All right, I'm going to play a little different game here. I usually throw this line of questioning out on my short time program, but I'll throw 10 questions at you. It's called short time. See if you can answer 10 questions in 90 seconds. I want the first thing that comes to your mind. I don't want you to think about it. I want you to go. Are you ready for the challenge?
Yeah, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, 0.
All right, number one, the best match you've ever watched.
Jordan Burroughs, Cadet.
I won the Olympic gold. Tonight, what are you having for dinner?
A 16-ounce steak with some mashed potatoes on the side.
I'd go with a 32-ouncer myself, but who's the best wrestler people don't talk about?
Keep going.
All-time favorite flavor of Gatorade?
Green apple.
Favorite wrestling movie?
Ooh, Vision Quest.
Your favorite international wrestler outside of yourself?
Abdul Rashid Satellite.
You win the Powerball. What's the first college wrestling program you're going to start?
Skip. I have no idea.
Yeah, you're not even old enough to buy lottery tickets yet, so I can't really ask you that. All right, who's the best JV guy on your high school team?
I don't even know.
Yeah, they'll work that out on the mat. And favorite restaurant on the planet?
Favorite restaurant on the planet? I don't know. I've been to a lot, but I'm not sure. I don't even know about that. I like all of them, you know. I can't pick one.
And what is the best part about living in Minnesota?
I guess 10,000 lakes. Always going boating and tubing and stuff.
I was going to say summertime because that's just what you get through that winter. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, we're both transplants here. I remember my first Minnesota winter, it was like, I was going to go check I'm from Virginia. I'm going to wear shorts. I wear shorts all the time. I got to check the mail. Like, it's 28 below. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Shorts on, sandals. I made it to about on the door. I'm like, wait. Yeah. So, not quite. Not like everybody's Mark Hall's dad who wears shorts when it's 30 below anyway.
Yeah, he's crazy. He loves them shorts.
So this year, we'll talk, what are the team goals? What are your individual goals? And how attainable do you think these things are for you and the Apple Valley team?
Our team goals is to win team state again, I think for the 12th or 13th time in a row. And my individual goals would be to go undefeated to win another state title. That'll be my third. And these goals are real big for us. I think we can get them and we can prove everyone wrong right now.
What's one thing you think the fans need to pay attention to with this Apple Valley team this year that they may not already know? Something's like, we're going to surprise you. We got something for you.
I just think how dominant we're going to be this year. We were pretty dominant last year. We're just going to keep proving everybody wrong and just keep getting better and just dominate our opponents like we always normally do.
All right, Gable, going to give you a shot here to plug yourself and your social media. Where can they follow you on Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and whatever, the sports ball stuff? Whatever you kids are doing these days, fire away.
My Snapchat is at g.steveson, so G.Steveson. My Twitter is at gsteveson, and my Instagram is at Gable Steveson.
So keeping it straight. All right, Gable, appreciate your time, and congratulations on your second world title, your second state championship, and we'll see you down the line. Thanks for coming on the program.
Yes, thank you for having me.
This show is part of the Matt Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, head over to MattTalkOnline.com.